Hey, 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 this is Jennifer Allwood, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, where we talk about creating a beautiful home and building a creative business. Hey, everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so excited to be here with you today and chatting with all of you. Gosh, I just appreciate my podcast listening friends so much, and I'm glad that you're here. I am going to be talking today to my business owning friends. I know there's a huge portion of my audience that are small business owners, and perhaps you're not a small business owner, but you know someone who is. I would love it if you would just maybe share this podcast with them. I'm talking today about kind of the path of success that I think that it takes to make it as a creative business online in today's world. You know, the way that we run our businesses, friends, has changed. If you have not noticed, everything has changed, especially with social media. And you don't any longer have to be the most talented. You don't have to have the best pricing. You just have to be really good at marketing and really have a strategy for building a business online. And so today what I want to talk about is business, especially creative business owners, and how I can help you guys get some really quick wins in your business. You know, I have been so blessed in the last couple of years to really swing my business to where it is more online. About 4 years ago, I really decided I was going to start pushing my business hard online. And I've had, a local company in Kansas City that has painted in houses for 17 years. But about 4 years ago, I came to this realization, okay, something's not adding up here. And I know a lot of you small business owners can completely relate to this. I was working in a very large project, and we had 8 women at that time that were painting for me out in this home. And it was a big, beautiful home. And it was a 6-week-long project of us painting like all of these gorgeous faux finishes in all of these different rooms. And it was fantastic, right? It was fantastic. But I'll never forget the day that I was at that house, and I was like, okay, this is a lot of stinking work. And it's not bad when you're doing a lot of stinking work, but you see the fruits of your efforts, like in your checking account, right? And so I'm literally like looking at how much money I have in the bank and comparing it to how much effort I was putting out, managing a project of that size for that long with that many women, and thinking, this shouldn't be so. I'm missing something here. I'm working way too stinking hard to not have any more money in the bank. And I'm guessing a few of you can relate to that. And so it was then that I knew, okay, I have a couple of options here. I can either go ahead and, work in double the amount of houses, hire double the amount of women, do double the projects, and hope to make double the money, which just sounded like torture to me, to be quite honest with you. It just, you can only spread yourself so thin. And I know many of you are already spread thin. And I'm talking specifically to you women who are on this podcast who are feeling like you're spread too thin. And so the other option I knew was to try to take my business more online, where I could create something once and sell it to a multitude of people. And that's when I started doing my DIY painting videos, and that went really, really well. And, but then I went through a season where I was doing really well online. I went to 6 figures with my painting videos in 14 months. And so that was great. And, was very grateful and selling my painting videos like hotcakes and feeling like a rock star. But I was also getting really overwhelmed because I had just literally, what I had done is I had shifted from hustling out in the local Kansas City area and hustling, trying to get more clients and more homes, to basically just hustling online. And so it really doesn't matter where you're hustling at. Overwhelm's overwhelm. And so I was completely overwhelmed because I had shifted and the money was way easier online, but now I was having to hustle there. And that was stressful. One of the things that I've told the thousands and thousands of women that I've had the honor of coaching in the last couple of years is that as creative entrepreneurs, our kind of Achilles heel, our thorn in our side, the thing that can take a lot of us out is our overwhelm. And it seems to be that creative people suffer from overwhelm or feel overwhelmed more than, let's say, accountants or dentists or those sorts of things. And here's why. I have reasoning behind this, my friends, so stick with me. most creative people are uber passionate. All right. We are all in on kind of the things that we're all in on. And we do our business because we love it. Like literally nobody is sitting at home today making earrings because they absolutely have to support their family and to get paid PDOs because we don't have those. Do you know what I'm saying? Like creators create because they love to create. Okay. We create because we love to create. And when you love something a whole lot, like you tend to get all in, right? You tend to get all in. And easily we can get overwhelmed with all of the things because we have a lot of feelings when we're creatives. We have a lot of just everything. It's just a lot sometimes to be a creative. Can I just get a yes and amen? Especially if you're a creative woman. It's just a whole lot. And so overwhelm is kind of it's the stinker. It's the thorn in our side. And what I tell the women I coach is that your overwhelm is your responsibility, and my overwhelm is my responsibility. A lot of our overwhelm is self-induced. A lot of the things we're doing, we don't even need to be doing. We're like, like my dog Stella chasing her tail. It's really not doing anything for our business, but sometimes it makes us feel good. Sometimes it makes us feel like we can check things off of our list. Sometimes we like how it makes us appear. We like how it makes us feel, but it actually is not generating any more income in the bank. And so I was getting overwhelmed 2 years ago. And another one of the reasons I was getting overwhelmed is not in addition to the hustle. I was getting overwhelmed because I was lacking consistent income in my business online. And so, I went to six figures quickly in my business, just right over a year's span. And that was fantastic. And then I started, doing some things like releasing some courses and some classes and teaching some webinars. And my income was doing crazy things, you guys. It was just banana pants. I was having huge spikes in my income and then huge dips in my income. And so on the months when I had huge spikes, I'd be like, yeah, baby, like I'm a stinking rock star, right? And then on the months when I was having huge lows, I was, wanting to suck my thumb in the corner. I have a workshop that is open right now. If you go to creatorsroadmap.com/workshop, where I actually show you the graphics. 2.5 years ago in January of would have been 2014, my online income was $27,000 that month. And I felt really good. And then I also show you in that workshop a graphic of just a few months later when my online income was $1,200. Now, literally, you guys, that's a shift from making like, I don't know. That's the difference between a $250,000 a year income and a $14,000 a year income. That's what that kind of shift, that's how huge that shift is. And so even though I was making decent money online, most months, there were some months that were still like taking this killer plunge. And it literally, it rocked me to my soul, friends. I'm not exaggerating any bit. And for those of you who are creative entrepreneurs, I know that you know what I'm talking about. There are some seasons in our businesses that are leaner than others. For a lot of us, it's quarter one. It's January and February is very lean. And then we have, big fat months that are great for us creatives over the holidays. October, November, December have traditionally just been the best business months for me, both online and out in the field. And so you know how those lean months can make you feel. They make you question, what are you doing? What are you doing wrong? What should you be doing different? What am I missing? How can I try to fill this void? How can I put money in our bank account right now? Are we going to starve? It's questions like that. And it's the thing that kind of keeps you up at night as a creative, those dips and those swings. And so it was 2 years ago that I was having those huge swings in my business. And I knew that just for my sanity, you guys, and just to be able to sleep at night, that I had to do something different and that I had to get some consistent income in my business. And so I started then, it was July of 2015 that I said, this can't happen anymore. We have to have some consistency in our life. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of the DISC profile. If you guys don't know anything about the DISC personality profile test, go take the test. And I've talked about this on my Facebook page as well. But I'm a high S, and us high S's, we're the sweet, social, stable sweethearts who like stability in the world. We don't like big swings at all. We don't like big swings in emotion. We don't like big swings in our life. We certainly don't like big swings in our income. And so I knew I had to do something. I had to get a plan to alleviate those huge shifts. And so I set up some multiple revenue streams. I set up 6 of them. And as a gift to you guys today, I want to give you those 6 revenue streams that I have worked really hard for the last 2 years to build each of those revenue streams up so that at any given time, at any time, if something went sideways, one of the other revenue streams could pay for our bills for my family for that month. Does that make sense? And so I want to talk to you about those revenue streams, but I want to even maybe just back up just a little bit first, because before I even talk about the revenue streams, I know I get asked a lot, like, Jennifer, what order do I need to do things in? Okay. And I'm going to tell you the order that you need to be doing things in online. If you have any kind of a business at all, you're dreaming of having any business at all, you probably have started and feel overwhelmed, or you're in the middle and feel like stuck. Or even if you are super successful online already, there's probably some areas that could stand to be tweaked. And that's for me too. So here's kind of my roadmap for the creative entrepreneur. Okay. And this is in alignment with my creators roadmap course that launches on October 12th. Here's what you need. Number 1, you've got to have a business Facebook page for your business. Like, you just totally have to. It is free marketing, you guys. It's the best thing ever for most businesses. So number 1 is your business Facebook page. Number 2 is going to be whatever social media you would be sitting on and working on if you were waiting to get your kids' teeth cleaned at the dentist office. So let's just pretend Facebook's down. What social media would you be playing on? Would you look at Twitter, or would you be on Instagram? Maybe you'd be on Snapchat, or possibly you'd be like me and you'd be looking on Pinterest. That's the second social media that you have to be focused on. And I know people are going to say, okay, well, I can only do one. Well, that's fine and dandy. But if anything, if you put all of your eggs into Facebook's basket and something would ever go sideways with Facebook, maybe you'd lose your page like I did for 3 days a few years ago. Maybe Facebook changes its rules and regulations. There's just a whole lot of reasons why you never put all of your eggs into the basket of any social media account. So you're going to start with Facebook, and then you're going to add what social media you play on if Facebook is down. Okay. By the way, side note, can you ever imagine a world without Facebook and Facebook being down? It would be a sad, sad day. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for all you do to entertain us and help us with our businesses. All right. Number 3 thing that you have to have as a business owner is you have to have your own website. Now, I arm wrestle over a lot of women over this because they say, I have an Etsy account. Isn't that just as good? No, honey. No, it's not. And I'm going to tell you why. When you have an Etsy account, I'm fine with you selling on Etsy, but that's an easy out for a lot of you because you're afraid to start your own website and you're afraid to spend the money. When you have an Etsy account, you are subject to Etsy's rules and regulations. Etsy can easily shut down your account if you violate one of those, even unintentionally, you guys. Etsy can change the rules at any given moment. Etsy can change how they show things. They can change the percentage that they charge you. They can change anything they want to because they're Etsy. They own Etsy. And so you have to have a website where you're the owner of something, where you're the boss of it, where you're not subject to somebody else's rules like you are on Etsy and social media. You have to have a website. I have resources. There's people out there that can make websites for you for much less than probably what you're anticipating in your mind. The days of paying $5 to $10,000 for a startup website are long gone. Okay. And so just know that you can start a website for much less than that. And it's a necessity. It's a necessity for a lot of reasons that I talk about in my roadmap course, including ad revenue. Ad revenue. Absolutely. So thing number 4 you have to do, and I hope you're writing these down because note takers or history makers, is you have to have, in addition to that website, an email list. An email list is a way for you to correspond with your clients. It's a way for you to let them know of sales. It's a way for you to start engaging with them at a much closer level, okay? Because when they're your Facebook followers or your Instagram buddy or whatever, that's fine and dandy. But now when they give you their email address, they're basically saying, hey, I need a much closer touch from you. I'm really a little more interested in what you have to say and what you have to sell than just the person who's following you on Facebook. So an email list is a must. Number 5 then is you're going to actually start using that email list by sending out newsletters and corresponding with your list. Number 6 that you gotta do is you have to have opt-ins. And for those of you who are like, what is an opt-in? Well, let me help you so you don't have to go to Google, okay? Basically, an opt-in is some place where you give your email address a lot of times in exchange for something. So let me give you a good example. The other day I was at Bath and Body Works buying like 497 candles in the scent Leaves for fall. It's my absolute favorite. And so when I'm at the checkout line, they said, can we get your email? Okay, I'm opting in to start receiving emails from Bath and Body Works. When I give them my email, basically I'm giving them permission to be on a list, and that's how I start getting coupons in the mail. And that's how I get sucked into buying 20 more of those Leaves candles because they happen to be on sale, the 3-wick kind, when they're 2 for $22 with free shipping. I mean, who can deny, right? Who can deny? And so an opt-in is you doing that same thing. You're going to give somebody something for free on your website. Maybe it's a coupon. Maybe it's a free guide. Maybe it's a free printable. Maybe it's a free little video. Maybe it's a free strategy, a free PDF. But you want their email address in exchange for something you're going to give them. That's an opt-in. And that's number 6 on the list of what you have to do. And then you can add any other social medias, number 7, as you want. But those are the things you have to have, okay, as a business owner who's doing things online. And then you have a lot of options, you guys. And this is these multiple paths of revenue streams that I worked really hard to set up so that we would no longer have those huge dips in our revenue. And this is where magic happened in my business when I started these things 2 years ago. Okay. This is where I started making information products, selling DIY videos, selling ebooks, selling a webinar, selling courses online. They were huge for us. Also, ad revenue. When I started adding ad revenue to my website, oh my goodness, that was just a huge game changer for us. So we talk in my course a lot about ad revenue. We talk about sponsored content, membership sites, and then we talk about doing things like going on television, getting asked to do speaking events, those sorts of things. And we focus heavily on how you can position yourself so that you're making passive revenue. Because I give actually in my Creators Roadmap workshop, and again, you can go to creatorsroadmap.com/workshop to take this quiz, but I give them a quiz. And let me just ask you guys a couple of the questions I have on the quiz, okay? One of the questions is, and I know these questions are going to sting a little, and just know that we don't know what we don't know. Okay. And sometimes it takes somebody kind of giving you a little bit of a nudge or prodding you just a little bit so you can look at your life or your business through a different lens. And through that different lens, you can maybe see some holes and some roadblocks and some blind spots that you didn't really previously notice. Okay. So here's my first question for you business owners. How long could your business survive if you were called into jury duty for a week? Could your business survive if you were called into jury duty for a month? What about 6 months, you guys? I mean, this is a thing, right? You could actually be called away from your business for 6 months. Do you have revenue streams set up so that your business keeps chugging along without you for a week, for a month, for 6 months? That's a really good question. That's a great litmus test to see if you need to be doing something different in your business. Question number 2, what would happen in your business if you were to break your arm today and be in a cast for the next 12 weeks? Because a lot of you who are listening to me are makers, you are physically working with your hands. What happens if you broke an arm today? Is this going to put your business on hold for the next 12 weeks? Is this going to put your family in a position where you may not be able to make the mortgage next month? Is this going to mean you can't you're unable to make an income for the next 12 weeks? And if so, I want to teach you a better way. Like I honestly want to show you how to set up those other revenue streams so that you can still be making income, but not have to physically be working while you're doing it. Here's another question for you. Okay. I'm trying to, I hope I'm not going to offend anybody with this question. I think we're going to be fine. But is your business dependent upon things that are really trendy, like the farmhouse look staying in vogue? Okay. So I know a lot of you who listen to me, we all love JoJo. We love Fixer Upper. We love farmhouse everything. Okay. I get it. All right. But it's very trendy right now. And if your business is set up based solely on things that are trendy and things that are in vogue, it's going to be problematic for you when that is no longer the thing that everybody's doing. Okay. Last question I'll ask you. If you guys want to get the rest of this quiz, I'll put a link here in the show notes if you're looking at my website, or go to just creatorsroadmap.com/workshop and you can find it there. But what would happen to your business if suddenly you needed to care for an aging parent full time? That's kind of the age bracket that Mr. Magic and I are now in, where there may be a time when we need to take care of aging parents. And are we able to step away from our business for a period of time to do that? Or does our business require us to be physically in it all day, every day? Because if it does, that's problematic. And so I hope some of those questions maybe just helped you open up your eyes just a tiny bit to some areas of your business where things need to be changed, they need to be implemented, they need to be put into place so that you can see your income grow to be more consistent, and so that you're actually physically making money while you're not working. For some of you, this is what's going to alleviate some of the overwhelm for you. In my Creators Roadmap course, I teach you how to use your social media and grow your social media, how to use your social media or how to use your email list and grow your email list so that you're able to implement things in your business that are going to set you up for success. Okay. I show you things like why you need a website. I don't just tell you, dude, you got to have a website, which is the truth. But I actually show you why you need a website and how once you have a website, you can start implementing some other things. Because you guys, in this creator's roadmap, in my roadmap to success, my success path for the creative people, everything is kind of attached and builds on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But all of those things, once they're put into place, are pretty much just machines. And they don't need a lot of attention from you on a daily basis. And you're still able to sleep at night because you still know you can roughly depend on this ad revenue, this affiliate income, this much on your membership site every month. And even if you're not working, even if something disastrous would happen in your family, even if you'd, get sick, even if there's, something that happens, like maybe your business partner were to leave, that sort of thing. And I'm going to tell you the second part of sleeping well at night. When you put some of these revenue streams into place, it actually will help the people who are closest to you. For most of you, that's your family, but perhaps also friends. Because sometimes when we're working so hard as business owners and we're hustling, and we're putting in long days because we have, 15 earring orders that need to go out today, or we have 5 new wreaths that need made, or we have 4 buffets and a table and chairs that need painted, or we have blog posts that need wrote, or we have, whatever. There's so many different genres that this appeals to. Our family sometimes can begin to resent our business because they see mom working so hard and putting in so many hours. And sometimes the income is just not, it just doesn't seem like it adds up. Like, mom's working so hard. She's away from the family a lot. And if the family is missing you, if the family is beginning to resent your business, or if you're seeing a huge discrepancy between the amount of hours that you're working and the amount of income you're bringing in, then something really needs to shift. Because anytime a family begins to resent the family business, there's a whole lot of things that can go wrong down the road. And so I want to help you, women especially, put some things in place in your business where you have passive revenue streams, where you're working less but making more. I have taken already a huge group of women through this course for the first time. I took them through it in June so that we could make any tweaks that were necessary so that we could make it as amazing as possible. I've got the Creators Roadmap workshop that you can go through, and you can watch my video series and take this full quiz and see kind of the graphics that I've made for you that go along with all of the things I've talked to you about on this podcast today. And then the class opens. It's open on October the 12th. And it's a 6-week, I don't know if you want to say boot camp. You can call it an intensive. You can call it a course. I don't care what you call it. I call it freedom. And we go through this together. You're going to get videos from me every week in a private Facebook group. So don't think you have to be live for anything. You don't have to be in my town. You don't have to be on Facebook at any time of day. You have to have an email account that I can send you something to and a Facebook page. That way I can just add you to the private Facebook group with me, and we're going to correspond in those two places. I want to tell you guys, we have had ridiculous, like literally ridiculous success with some of the women that have already gone through Creators Roadmap in the spring. And I've got several stories that they just warm my heart when I read them and make me just feel so honored that I get to do what I get to do for a living. Being able to speak into other women's businesses and help them get shortcuts so they can get to where they're going faster than what I did just makes my day. I know Julie, who owns Southern Charm Wreaths. I got an email from her today. And the email just blessed my socks off. I'm going to read a portion of this. Okay. Here's her email. All I can say is, wow. Jennifer, I've been working on my creative business for years, and it wasn't until I met you that my business went to 6 figures. Not once, but multiple times. In your Creative Roadmap course, you gave me the path to follow in order to grow a 6-figure business. This stuff totally works. Not only did you give me the tips specific to my niche, but I had them poll the members to see what they needed. You truly care about wanting to see us blow it out of the water with our business. And then here's what she goes on to say. Words are great, but numbers talk. After finishing your course and following your steps, I increased my social media followers by 15,300 people in 6 weeks, you guys. 15,300 people in 6 weeks. And my email list went up over 3,000 people. Not only that, but I made almost $10,000 more during your 6-week course than I did during the same 6 weeks last year. It totally works. The course more than paid for itself. And then she goes on to say that she would love to recommend this to new business owners. And that just blesses my socks off. If you don't already follow Julie at Southern Charm Wreaths, you need to go check her out. She's also on her website at southern-charmwreaths.com. But listen, Julie's just one of several women that have seen huge results from my Creators Roadmap course. And it's my desire to really just help you get from point A to point B so much quicker, and to save you some time and energy and some mistakes that I made when I was implementing these sorts of things several years ago. So go check it out over at creatorsroadmap.com. I really hope that I get to meet you inside of the group. If you're watching or listening to this from my website, just look at the show notes here below. I'm going to show you the graphic of some of the things we talked about in terms of the success path that you need to take, the order of things that you need to do in the business. I'm also going to link to the quiz, so you can take the full quiz there, and I'll link to the workshop videos as well. So bless you guys as you go about your day today and as you go about your business. Like I said, if you're not somebody who's a business owner, but you know someone that this podcast could be a blessing to, please share this with them. And I just appreciate you so much every time you do that. Every business that I get to touch and just affect in some positive way is just, it's a win for me. And so thank you for that. All right, my friends, I will be back with you next week with another podcast guest. Until then, stay creative. Have a good one. Bye-bye.